This is breaking news.
I promised a breaking news update. I wanted to bring it to you as soon as we got it. We now know, in terms of the Norman shooting, that there is no active threat. A person of interest has been detained. I want to take you back out live to Tevis Hillis on the ground there in Norman in the 1800 block of Twisted Oak Circle. She is going to be talking to the police public information officer with a live update. Go ahead, Tevis.
What can you tell us right now about what happened around 2 o'clock this afternoon?
At about 12:40 p.m. today, officers were called to the 1800 block of Twisted Oak Drive in regards to a shooting. We had multiple callers that reported a shooting. Once officers arrived on scene, they did locate one individual that had gunshot wounds. That individual was transported, condition still unknown. We were pretty quickly able to obtain some suspect descriptions from potential witnesses or people in the area that saw that individual leaving the area. We're currently working, we spent the last several hours working to locate that individual and currently have one person of interest detained.
I do want to ask, you say it happened, a shooting happened. Did it happen in these apartment complexes? Did it happen in a house? Where did it exactly happen?
It happened within the apartment complex.
And one person was shot multiple times, correct?
Correct. One person shot multiple times.
And we do have a person detained. Is there any information you can tell us about that person that was detained?
That person was just recently detained. Investigators are working to determine more of that information.
Was that person detained at that Chicken Express? I know I saw a lot of police start heading towards that way. Where was this person detained?
I don't have that exact information at this point.
What else can you tell us? We've seen a lot of neighbors come out of their house going, hey, what's going on? Are we safe? What can you tell neighbors this afternoon?
We don't believe that there's an active threat to the area currently now that we have this person of interest in custody. We do ask people to continue to remain aware and vigilant. So if they do see something that's suspicious or out of the ordinary, continue to contact us. If it's an emergency, always utilize 911, or they can always utilize our non-emergency number as well.
I've also seen people go in and out, police specifically, go in and out of this house on the left-hand side. Can you tell us anything that's happening at this house? Was there multiple scenes?
Not multiple scenes, as officers have been working to locate potential persons of interest and kind of canvass the area as we look for that potential suspect. They have been searching a variety of areas, so that's what's occurring right now, and that's why you're seeing a lot of officers moving in and out of the area as we follow up on additional information and leads.
And we did see tactical teams here out on the area. How significant is that to have that type of presence here?
Significant. This was potentially a dangerous scene when you have an individual, a shooting that comes out and a report of an individual that is at large, potentially armed. That is concerning, and officers were hopefully able to quickly determine who that person was and get a person of interest in custody.
Sarah, how far away from the actual shooting scene was the suspect found?
I don't have the information about the exact location in which that individual was detained, but I can get that information for you.
There were no other injuries?
Not at this time, no.
And was that suspect, do we believe that suspect was on the run trying to get away?
I think it's too early to know that information. That's what investigators and officers are working to determine at this time.
So officially one person shot multiple times, being taken to the local hospital here in Norman. We don't know exactly where that suspect was detained, but we're still investigating the scene.
Correct. In the area, one detained, no active threat, but we do ask people to remain aware in the area.
And that victim is alive, right?
We don't have a condition on that victim at this time.
With that victim, do we know if it was a college student or if it was an adult?
No information at this time that would be publicly available.
Sarah, thank you for chatting with us and telling us a little bit more. Amanda, again, I do want to recap what we just learned from Sarah with Norman Police. We do know one person was shot multiple times. They did arrest a subject. A person was detained. They are going to ask that person questions. What led up to the shooting? We still have multiple questions to answer, but this is an ongoing investigation with police still trying to figure out exactly what happened. Amanda, do you have any other questions that you can ask me?
The only other thing that I would ask, and I'm sure Sarah doesn't know at this moment, but something that we should ask is that, do we know a motive for this? Do they believe that this was a random shooting?
We do not know exactly at this time. I will ask her. She's right now speaking to neighbors that are concerned about, hey, what's going on? Are we safe? Right now, those neighbors are safe. Of course, I'll ask her when she is free if we know any type of motive at this time.
Teveselis, great work down there. We appreciate your hustle and showing us live and bringing us some good news that they believe that the gunman is in custody. So again, the shooting happened just after 12:30. That's when Norman police started to get the phone calls. And then about 2.5 hours later, where we are right now, the suspected gunman is in custody. We'll work on getting you the very latest. Make sure you tune in at the top of our 4 o'clock show here on News 9, and we'll bring you a live report from Norman then.